In 1999, a civil engineer walked into a grocery store and legally stole $800,000 from three major airlines. His name is David Phillips. His weapon wasn't a gun. It wasn't a computer. It was chocolate pudding. 12,150 cups of it, each one costing 25 cents. 3 weeks later, he owned 1.25 million frequent flyer miles, enough to fly first class around the world for the rest of his life. The airlines tried to stop him. Their lawyers searched every word of the contract. They found nothing. He had followed every rule. And here's the part that nobody believes. The US government ended up paying part of the bill. This is how one man found an $800,000 loophole hidden inside a 25-cent pudding cup, and why, 27 years later, he's still untouchable. He's trained to find the one weak point that collapses the entire system. And in May 1999, he finds it, hidden in a grocery store flyer. It starts with a grocery store flyer. Healthy Choice Foods is running a promotion. Buy 10 Healthy Choice products, mail in the barcodes, earn 500 frequent flyer miles. Most people see a coupon, a mild incentive to buy a $2 frozen dinner. Phillips sees something else. He sees a pricing error, a mathematical anomaly, a system that has failed to account for the extreme edge case. Because the promotion doesn't specify which Healthy Choice products qualify. It just says any Healthy Choice product: frozen dinners, canned soup, snack bars, pudding cups. And there's a bonus. Any barcodes mailed by the end of May 1999 earn double miles, 1,000 miles for every 10 barcodes. Phillips does the math. If he can find the cheapest possible Healthy Choice product, he can buy frequent flyer miles for pennies on the dollar. He starts hunting. Frozen dinners cost $2 each, too expensive. Canned soup costs 90 cents. Better, but not optimal. Then he finds it. At a grocery outlet discount store, individual chocolate pudding cups are on clearance, 25 cents each. Each cup has its own barcode. Each barcode qualifies for the promotion. The math is devastating. 10 pudding cups cost $2.50. They generate 1,000 frequent flyer miles. That's $0.0025 per mile, 1/4 of a cent. Airlines value miles at roughly 2 cents each. The market rate for a round-trip ticket to Europe is 50,000 miles. At standard cash prices, that ticket costs $800 to $1,000. Using Phillips' pudding method, 50,000 miles cost $125. He doesn't hesitate. He buys every pudding cup he can find. Phillips has a problem. He needs 12,150 pudding cups, and he needs them in 3 weeks. Digital hacks scale instantly. One line of code runs 1,000,000 times. But this hack is physical. Every pudding cup must be bought, transported, and processed by hand. But there's a problem that could destroy the entire operation before it even begins. We'll get to that. First, he starts driving. He hits every grocery outlet, every discount store, every clearance aisle within 50 miles. Sacramento, Fresno, Stockton. He buys out entire inventories. When shelves are empty, he talks to store managers. He asks them to order more cases from the warehouse. The clerks start to recognize him. They call him the pudding guy. He needs a cover story. He tells them he's stockpiling for Y2K, the mass panic that computers would crash at midnight, January 1st, 2000. In 1999, hoarding pudding didn't seem crazy. Over 3 weeks, he accumulates 12,150 pudding cups. His garage is packed floor to ceiling. His wife stares at the towers of cardboard boxes.
David, what are you doing?
He shows her the spreadsheet, the numbers, the math.
This is insane.
It's not insane. It's arbitrage.
She's still skeptical, but she's also practical. And now the real problem reveals itself. The promotion requires physical barcodes. He needs to peel 12,150 labels off 12,150 pudding cups. And he needs to do it before the end of May. He starts peeling. His wife helps. Not because she believes in the plan, because she knows he can't do it alone. His kids help. They sit in the garage, peeling labels, stacking pudding cups. Their fingers blister, their hands cramp, blood under the fingernails. They're running out of time. Phillips realizes he can't do this alone. He needs help. And he's about to pull off a move so brilliant the US government will end up paying him to do it.
Salvation Army, how can I help you?
I have 12,000 cups of pudding to donate. I just need the barcodes back.
The barcodes?
Thousands of dollars worth of food. Free. You peel the labels, return them to me by month's end.
We have volunteers. When can you deliver?
Tomorrow.
They need the food. They have the volunteers. It's a perfect trade. Phillips delivers the pudding. The volunteers start peeling. Within days, 12,150 barcodes arrive at his house in neat stacks. He mails them to Healthy Choice before the deadline. But the brilliance of this move isn't just the labor arbitrage, it's the tax code. Under U.S. tax law, donations to registered 501c3 charities are tax deductible. The deduction is based on the retail value of the donated goods. The pudding cups have a retail value of 89 cents each. Phillips bought them for 25 cents each on clearance. But the IRS doesn't care what he paid. They care about the retail value. 12,150 cups at 89 cents each equals $10,813.50 in retail value. But Phillips is conservative. He claims an $815 deduction on his taxes. That's $815 back from the federal government, a rebate on his initial $3,140 investment. His adjusted cost basis drops to $2,325. 1.25 million frequent flyer miles for the price of a used car. And the US government just paid part of it. But Phillips doesn't understand what he's really hacked. It's not a promotion. It's not even about pudding. It's something much bigger. To understand why this hack worked, you need to understand what frequent flyer miles actually are. They're not rewards, they're currency. And the people who print this currency aren't regulated like banks. They're airlines. Here's the secret nobody tells you. Airlines don't make money by flying planes. They make money by selling miles. Picture a Chase Sapphire card. Every time you swipe it, Chase pays American Airlines 2 to 3 cents for a mile. The airline creates that mile out of thin air. It costs them less than half a cent to fulfill when you redeem it. The profit margin is 300 to 500%. A single pudding cup costs 25 cents. But when converted through this promotion, that same pudding cup generates miles worth $8 in airline currency. That's a 3,200% markup. How is that possible? Because the system is built on a mathematical error. The promotion was designed by marketing people who thought in terms of frozen dinners and canned soup. They never imagined someone would find the absolute cheapest qualifying product and scale it to industrial levels. 2024, Delta, United, American, and Southwest collectively lost money flying planes. But they reported $14 billion in operating profits, almost entirely from their loyalty programs. Airlines are banks. They print currency. They control the supply. They set the prices. And they're almost completely unregulated. But here's what nobody tells you. These loyalty programs aren't just about flights. They're about data. Your boarding pass, your hotel receipt, your Uber ride. Every purchase you make with a co-branded credit card, it's all tracked, analyzed, sold. The miles are just the bait. The real product is you. This is the system David Phillips just hacked. But the system doesn't like being hacked, and ConAgra is about to notice. Phillips mails the barcodes in batches, 2,506 envelopes, each containing 10 barcodes, each representing 1,000 miles. He sends them certified mail. He keeps copies of everything, receipts, tracking numbers, proof of purchase. He knows what's coming. When his submission arrives at the Healthy Choice Processing Center, someone notices. 12,150 barcodes, all from the same person, all mailed at once. ConAgra, the parent company of Healthy Choice, panics. They run the numbers. 1.25 million miles. At wholesale rates, that's $25,000 to $37,500 worth of miles they have to purchase from the airlines. For a $3,140 pudding purchase, Phillips spent $3,140. The airlines valued what he received at over $800,000 in travel. That's a 25,000% return on investment in 1 month. Inside ConAgra's legal department, a team is assembled. They pull the original promotion documents. They read every word, every footnote, every disclaimer. They're looking for an out. The promotion says any Healthy Choice product. It doesn't specify a minimum purchase price. It doesn't exclude clearance items. It says mail in 10 barcodes. It doesn't say maximum 10 barcodes per household. It says earn 500 miles per submission. It doesn't cap the number of submissions.
We just refuse. Claim fraud.
He followed every rule.
Then we change the rules.
Too late. The promotion already ran. If we deny him now, he sues. And he wins.
So what do we do?
The lawyer closes the file. His face is unreadable. The meeting ends. No decision announced. 2,000 miles away, Phillips checks his mailbox. Empty. Weeks pass. Nothing. He checks his frequent flyer accounts daily. No miles. No confirmation. No acknowledgement that his submission was even received. He calls the Healthy Choice customer service line. The representative puts him on hold. 5 minutes. 10 minutes. 15. When she comes back, her voice is different. Careful.
Your submission is being reviewed.
Reviewed. That's corporate speak for, we're trying to figure out how to deny you. Phillips hangs up. His wife asks what's happening. He has no answer. His friends think he's been scammed. They tell him corporations always find a way to weasel out of promotions like this. Phillips starts to doubt himself. What if they're right? What if he missed something in the fine print? What if there was a cap and he just didn't see it? He pulls out the original promotion flyer. He reads it again and again. There's no cap. He's sure of it. But being right doesn't matter if ConAgra decides to fight him. His wife stops asking about the pudding. His friends stop calling.
Dad, did they trick you?
Phillips doesn't answer. He stares at the towers of empty pudding cups in his garage. $3,140. Gone. Then, 2 months after his submission, a package arrives. It's massive, heavy. Phillips carries it inside. He opens it on his living room floor. Inside are 2,506 certificates. Each one is worth 500 frequent flyer miles. Phillips spreads them out. He counts them. He double-checks the math. 1,253,000 miles. It's real. ConAgra blinked. He won. But there's one more gate, one system he still has to pass through, and he has no control over what happens next. Phillips stares at the certificates spread across his floor. They're real. They're valid. ConAgra honored them. But they're still just paper. The miles aren't his until they're in his account. And between now and then, there's a system he can't manipulate, can't negotiate with, can't outsmart. The airline's fraud detection. He needs to move carefully. He deposits 216,000 miles across United, Delta, and Northwest accounts. Diversification. If one airline flags him, he still has the others. But the bulk, 1,037,000 miles, goes into his American Airlines A-Advantage account. He submits the certificates online. He waits for the system to process them. Hours pass. Nothing happens. He refreshes the page. Still processing. He waits another hour. Still processing. Something is wrong. Normally, certificate deposits are instant. You enter the code, the miles appear. Done. But his account has been stuck on processing for 3 hours. Phillips starts to panic. What if American Airlines is reviewing the deposit? What if they're flagging it as suspicious? What if they're about to reject the entire submission? He can't call customer service. What would he say? Hi, I just tried to deposit 1 million miles from a pudding promotion. Why is it taking so long? That would only make it worse. All he can do is wait. What Phillips doesn't know is what's happening 2,000 miles away. In Fort Worth, Texas, an analyst at American Airlines headquarters is staring at her screen. Unusual account activity alert. A single customer just submitted 1,037,000 miles in certificates, all at once, all from the same promotion. The system flagged it automatically. She opens Phillips' account. She sees the lifetime gold status trigger queued. This is not normal. Corporate executives accumulate 1 million miles over 10 years. This guy did it in one day. Her finger hovers over the fraud department extension. One call ends this. Then she pauses. She checks the certificate codes. All valid, all verified, all from Healthy Choice. She checks the promotion terms. No cap on submissions. No limit per customer. She checks Phillips' account history. No previous fraud flags. No chargebacks. No suspicious activity. Everything is clean. She puts the phone down. She clicks Approve. Phillips refreshes the page for the 100th time. His account updates. Balance, 1,037,000 miles. And something else appears. Status, lifetime gold. Phillips stares at the screen. He doesn't move. He's afraid if he refreshes the page, it will disappear. He screenshots it, just in case. He has no idea how close he just came to losing everything. He just bought elite status for $2,325. Priority boarding, free upgrades, lounge access, bonus miles on every future flight. For life. Phillips has just hacked his way into the 1%. But someone will beat this. 4 million miles, $0. Phillips tells a few friends. He shows them the account balance. They don't believe it. One of them knows a journalist at the Los Angeles Times. The article runs in August 1999. Man earns 1.25 million frequent flyer miles by buying pudding. It goes viral. CNN picks it up, The Wall Street Journal, Time Magazine, international outlets. Phillips's phone starts ringing. Reporters want interviews. Talk shows want him as a guest. He panics. What if ConAgra sees this? What if American Airlines sees this? But nothing happens. ConAgra releases a terse statement. The promotion was honored as written. American Airlines says nothing. Phillips realizes why. It's too late. The story is public. If they revoke his miles now, they look like the villain. Phillips is untouchable. He won. And he's not the only one paying attention. Phillips's hack goes viral in a different way. Travel hackers start hunting for the next loophole. But Phillips doesn't know something. In 9 years, someone will beat his record. Not with pudding, not with soup, not with anything you can buy in a store. With something the US government will ship to your door for free. And this time, the hack will be 4 times bigger. 2008. The US Mint has a problem. Americans won't use the new presidential $1 coin. They prefer paper bills. So the Mint launches a promotion. Buy the coins online. Face value, free shipping, credit cards accepted. They're trying to get coins into circulation. They have no idea what they just did. Travel hackers see it immediately. Buy $10,000 in coins with a rewards credit card. Earn 10,000 miles. The Mint ships the coins for free. Deposit them at your bank. Use the cash to pay off the credit card. Net cost, 0. Net reward, 10,000 miles. And there's no limit. One hacker buys $100,000 in coins, then $500,000, then $1 million. He accumulates 4 million frequent flyer miles before the Mint catches on and shuts it down in 2011. Phillips's record, 1.25 million miles for $2,325. The copycat, 4 million miles for free. The US government just funded an even bigger hack, and they paid for the shipping. Phillips uses his miles differently. A few months after the story breaks, he sits down for a TV interview.
And we're making a trip to Europe over Easter. We're going to go visit some friends in near Milan in Italy, then do a week in Barcelona, and then stop over in London to go see The Lion King for a night.
His wife, Cindy. His daughters, Katie, 7, and Emma, 5. First-class tickets to Europe. Hotels. experiences they'll remember forever, all because their dad spent $2,325 on pudding. Over the next 7 years, Phillips takes his family to 40 countries. They see the world from the front of the plane. He beat the system.
Listen, did your friends and family think you were absolutely nuts doing this? Because I kind of think you are.
Yeah, they're used to me doing nutty things.
David Phillips' story is not really about pudding. It's about what happens when someone actually reads the fine print. Is he a genius who beat a rigged system? Or is he a freeloader who exploited corporate generosity? ConAgra honored the promotion. They followed their own rules. But they lost $25,000 on a 3,140 pudding purchase. Phillips didn't lie. He didn't cheat. He didn't break a single rule. But he took advantage of a mistake that was never meant for him.